I think you're probably one of, if not the first trader that I've spoken to who has never blown an account.
It's a good thing being conservative because obviously you're not blowing accounts, you're not losing money, but it can be a massive downside. It's going to take you way longer to learn as well. If you're only taking 4 trades a month, how are you going to learn from your mistakes when you only make 1 mistake a year type thing?
How are you finding these new Trump markets?
So fun. Honestly, love it. Since Trump's come in power, I've learned more about fundamentals.
Most toxic trait in the trading industry.
People hopping into Discords and groups posting loads of profits.
Most overrated trading advice. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Trader Talk. In this week's episode, we are introducing a new member of the Equity Edge family. So we have a new content creator on the team. So welcome, Leon.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, it's good to start and be part of the team.
Love that. So you're actually a trader as well, aren't you?
Yeah, been trading for 5 years. The day I turned 18, opened up my first live account, whoopie-doo.
Wow.
2 years later, went full time.
I love that. So how did you actually get into trading?
This is a bit of a funny one. The very first time I knew about trading was actually, this is a bit of a funny story, GTA 5. Okay, so on GTA 5 you can trade the stock market. You have the Borsak stock market. So you could basically go buy airplane stock, go to the airport, blow up the planes, and then the stock would crash, which is crazy. So that's the first time I was introduced to stocks, and I was like, holy crap, this is cool. And then I think a few months later, of course, the crazy Instagram, we can make you 10K in a week, we can do this, guys driving Lamborghinis and stuff like that. Got trapped into that little cycle and lost a bit of money, made a bit of money, lost a bit more, and then properly started.
Okay, I love that. Who was the first person that you went to learn?
They're not around anymore. They were called, what are they called? I think Adam and Co Trading. I did
never heard of that.
Yeah, they're in Manchester. I did a 3-day course with them.
Okay.
It's just basic price action, support resistance, trend lines, which is actually how I'm still trading, which is pretty funny. Yeah, I did that, and then I think I tried probably 5-10 different strategies. Just hop in, given a strategy a month, doesn't work, quit, try another strategy, so on. And then I got to where I am now.
I love that. So how long has it been since you actually first started?
5 years.
5 years, okay.
5.5.
Okay,
yeah.
Love that. So it took you 3 years until you went full time?
I think the first year and a half was just not serious at all. Like everyone, put £250 into a live account, flipped it into 2K, lost it a day later. At college saying, look, I just made 2K. I think I opened a 1.2 lot size trade on a 2K account and got margin called. And I was like, why on earth can't I close my trades? And it's just watching the 4 trades go close. It's oh, never talking about trading again.
How do you think, so I went through something similar. I think I was, before I deposited my first big amount, I think I was probably trading for 2 or 3 years before. So it was £50 here, £100 there on a dodgy broker. But I think I was so stuck in the game that it was right, okay, I've lost that, but I've got no choice now. I'm in this deep. I'm going to have to see it out. What was it like for you psychologically, losing, I'm guessing that was your first big chunk of money at that age. What was that like psychologically? Did you think, forget this, I'm not doing this?
To be fair, it wasn't that bad. I only deposited 250. So I was, in my head, I was winning. I was on top of the world. I just flipped 250 to 2K. So I was living the big life. In college, obviously not many people have much money, minimum wage job type thing. Yeah, it wasn't that bad because obviously I only put 250 in and flipped it. So it wasn't much money, but that was, I think, probably a solid 25% of my savings. But to be fair, psychology, I've never really had much of a problem. I've always had a problem of actually being too conservative and not risking enough. Most people have the overtrading, risk, blow their accounts. I only blew that one account, and since then I've never blew a prop firm, never blew an account. I've always been super safe, which is good, but also bad.
Do you know what though? That is actually very interesting because I think you're probably one of, if not the first trader that I've spoken to who has never blown an account. A lot of people, and I think, I always say people who come into trading are natural degenerates, and it's trading is the outlet to get over that or get through that. And then we kind of have to learn to take it back and stop blowing accounts. Where do you think that comes from? Is there anything that you have been through previously before you got into trading, or is that just naturally how you are?
I think I'm just quite a laid back person anyway. I don't know. It is obviously it's a benefit, but it's also a massive downside because, I mean, quick backstory, 2023, that's when I went full-time trading. That's when it went really well, like decent 5-figure months. Well, not high 5-figure, but 5-figure months, payouts from obviously a bunch of prop firms. And then 2024, I think like last 2 months of 2023, I was break even. I was like, this isn't working anymore. I need to like learn something new or improve my risk reward, improve my win rate. I want to grab more basically. So I implemented some new things way too quickly without collecting the data, and it screwed me big time. So obviously I'm being a conservative trader, taking like, let's say 4 trades a month, like 1, maybe 2 a week. I went into like 9.5% drawdown on my accounts, like big drawdown, but I was super attached emotionally because I had like about 1.5 million in challenges. And I did not want to lose those accounts because I paid a lot of money. So obviously being a conservative trader, that's when I messed up because I went from 2% risk of trade to 1 to 0.5 to 0.25%. And obviously that would have taken me months and months and months to get out of drawdown. So it's a good thing being conservative because obviously you're not blowing accounts, you're not losing money, but it can be a massive downside. It's going to take you way longer to learn as well. If you're only taking 4 trades a month, how are you going to like collect the data and actually learn from your mistakes when you only make 1 mistake a year type thing? That's not, I guess not making 1 mistake a year. I made quite a lot, but you know what I mean.
No, I get that. And I do think, I would say though, being a conservative trader, I would recommend a lot more than being like a complete risky gambling trader. But what is your general risk on accounts if you are super conservative?
So it was 2% because again, when I was doing really well, this is pretty cool actually, I hadn't lost more than 1 trade for like a year in a row.
Wow.
So I was like always like up, down, up, down, up, 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 and then like went on like 10 win streak, 8 win streak. So I was risking 2% per trade. The max drawdown I ever did was 2%. Then I lost 1 trade. I was like, yeah, fine. Lost another. I was like, I think that affected me massively actually because I hadn't lost more than 1 trade in a row for ages. I lost 2. Obviously I have my own community, so I post stuff in there as well. Everyone's like, oh my God, you just lost 2 trades in a row for the first time ever. Then it, rushes to your head like, oh shoot, I need to win the next trade. And I lost another. Then I was like, oh shoot, so I reduced my risk and then kept on pushing down. And that's where the big mess up was.
Do you think the mess up was in you like keep reducing your risk?
Yeah, 100%. Because if you're, like the one piece of advice to give to people is like when you're approaching prop firms, you need to keep your risk the same. Yes, I get like, based on like your confidences and confidence in the trade, you can increase your risk, but I'm like very like statistical and probabilities based.
Yeah.
And obviously if you're collecting data and you're looking to, build like long-term equity curve and stats and stuff like that, if you're changing your risk with every trade, it's going to mess up your stats. You need to keep like consistent risk throughout the entire thing. Trust, because I've like collected hundreds, maybe thousands of backtested trades. I'm forward tested and I know the stats, like I've got like, let's say 70 to 80% win rate based on like 1-to-1, 1-to-2 risk reward. But when I'm changing my risk all the time, obviously those stats aren't going to be reflected. It's going to be up and down. So instead you need to keep your risk the same and just trust the stats. You're profitable long term. So why on earth are you changing your risk all the time?
You know what, I do really like that approach. I think for me, like once I go into quite heavy drawdown again, I drop my risk because I'm like, I think more for me it's like panic because I'm like, I don't want to blow this account. But then psychologically, I end up still messing it up anyway because I'm in that like mental rut. But I struggle with psychology sometimes, which obviously you don't really experience that. I was going to mention as well backtesting. How much do you backtest?
Now, nowhere near as much. I mean, I've collected the data. I know it works. I've forward tested. I know it works. I've live tested. I know it works. It gets to a point where, like, once you've built that knowledge and you've built the, the stats and all the trades. I've got hundreds of trades backtested. I think you overlearn. It gets to a point where you're collecting too much data, too many stats. And that's where it can kind of become, a bit of a curse. Like trading is different to every single form of just, it goes against like human psychology. Like with normal things, you can learn and you can learn more and you can jump deeper into the rabbit hole and learn and learn and learn and learn and you become better and better. With trading, it gets to the point where you learn the strategy, you learn like maybe a bit more advanced of the strategy, but then that's it. You just trial and error, test it and see what works. As soon as you start learning more and go, ooh, that indicator's pretty cool, I'm going to add that. I mean, for those who have tried it, yeah, doesn't turn out great.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And this is what I always say as well, like when people have got like 20,000 different things on their charts, I'm like, oh my God, like how can you even see what's going on? I think with trading, you have to keep it simple because like you say, because we're going against every like human nature element possible, the more that you overthink things, the more that you get in your own head, and then it's just an absolute downward spiral, I think. Do you recommend backtesting or forward testing? If you had to pick between one, which would you choose?
I mean, I'd heavily recommend both, but if I had to pick, it's a tough one because if you do like a versus, backtesting's cool because you can sit there for 8 hours. If you're crazy, you sit there for 8 hours, backtest, and you can collect hundreds of trades, which is cool. But forward testing obviously then has the emotional side of it. Let's say if you trade like news or alignment or sessions, I guess not sessions, but for example, I use a lot of alignment. So if I'm trading, let's say pound dollar, I'll look at DXY, I'll look at Euro USD. If you backtesting that, it's so difficult, so difficult. And obviously the emotion side, if you're backtesting, let's say price misses your trade by 0.2 pips, you go, and let's say it misses by 0.2 pips and hits take profit, you go, nah, I would have caught that. Yeah, I would have caught that. Whereas forward testing, you can't cheat. What happens, happens. But you can't collect as many trades. It's going to take time and you've got to wait weeks and weeks. So I don't know. I really don't want to pick one, but I'd say forward testing because I think the data is more accurate to how you actually trade.
I agree. And I think most people who know me probably know this, but I've never backtested. Never. Oh, wow. Never. And I think I've probably done myself a detriment, which obviously I realise now because I've been trading for 10 years. And I feel like I'm probably at the same place as someone who's been trading for like 5 or 6 years. So I think because I just jumped into the market, forward tested, lost so much money, I probably did the wrong thing. But I do believe that, like you say, forward testing, there's nothing that beats that because back testing, like you say, you don't have the emotion. And I always say trading is 90% psychology. So if you've got the back testing data, but you don't actually know how you're going to react in the live markets until you're actually in them, facing real money, I think.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah, again, back testing, it requires so much discipline. If you're not going to, like I said, with let's say it misses stop loss or tap stop loss, sorry, by like 1 pip, you think, nah, I would have used a bigger stop loss or or news will come out and go, nah, I technically wouldn't have taken it because news come out. And I think, again, like you said, with like the backtesting data is cool, but there's no execution. Like with the forward testing, there's execution and there's like in the moment execution, whereas backtesting, there's none of that. So unless you know how to convert that, which is, I'm guessing, pretty difficult for most people because they don't have the discipline and stuff like that, yeah, forward testing is the way.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. What is your strategy?
So I trade basic price action, similar to you actually. We actually trade pretty similar. Just using daily levels, basic like key support resistance levels. And I'm basically trying to look for zone. I mean, everyone's looking for zones of like high confidence basically. Whereas like the zone with the highest probability of providing some sort of move. I'm not looking for a big reversal. I'm looking for like 30, 40, 50 pips type thing. And basically I'll identify the level, basic daily level, break retest or a normal level. And then I'll mix that with my different confidences that I use. So I use like the EMAs, I use FIB. And then the best ones are alignment and timing. So alignment is like if I'm looking for GU, I'll also look at EU. Or if the move is obviously USD driven, I'll look at DXY. If the move is pound driven, well, I'm technically already on GU, so I'd use GU as well. But for timing, that is basically looking at session open and closes. So the main one is 4 p.m. London. That's a really nice one because what you'll find usually is all the big traders will try and close the positions before that. So that's when you'll see like big momentum reversals. So if I can find a level that's about to be tapped and it's 4 p.m. London, if you have a look, if you go back to any pair, any trade, if you look at session open and closes, you'll usually see a spike of volume. And that's a really nice confidence to use.
I like that. I've actually realised as well, I tend to trade, I'm more of a morning trader, so I'm like pre-London, London Open. That's when I like to get my best trades. But I've realised I always confluence it with the school run. So when I'm on the school run, I'll be waiting outside the school gates at like 3 p.m. And I realise there's always like a huge pump of liquidity like around that time. And it makes sense in what you say. All of the big traders around that time are like trying to get out. So but then by 4 p.m, that's probably when you get like the real move in the markets. That makes a lot of sense actually. What kind of strategies did you look at previously? So obviously now you trade like clean charts, price action.
Yep.
What else have you dabbled into?
A bunch of stuff. Ichimoku clouds.
Wow, I haven't heard that in years.
Yeah, that was a like stochastic oscillator, Bollinger Bands, RSI, MACD, bit of SMC before like ICT came around. Little attempt at ICT, but wasn't really my thing. I don't know. I kind of prefer to be off charts as much as possible with my strategy. Obviously, I'm trading the 1 hour time frame a little bit here and there now, but most of it's daily time frame. So it literally requires, let's say, half an hour at the weekend, 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes of the evening. That is literally it.
Wow.
Catch me 1-2 trades a week. That's it, done. So I spend probably 2 hours on charts max a week. So
wow.
It's compared to obviously like when you trade in sessions and stuff, you got to be there like every single session open for the entire session type thing. I don't really look at sessions.
Okay.
Hold trades overnight, that's completely fine as long as there's no high impact news. So similar to you, as long as there's no high impact news, I'll hold a trade. That's fine.
That's interesting. I think I'm at a point where I've realised my biggest payouts, my biggest wins have always been when I'm trading less. And I think I get stuck into a cycle of like just over trading because I'm like, I'll have a massive payout and then psychologically I'm like, I need to get that back. And somehow, somewhere, my brain ends up thinking that I have to be on the charts constantly. I have to be catching every single move. But now you've said that, and actually this week I've taken a break and I've kind of stepped back again because I'm like, no, less is more. I don't have to trade every day. I don't have to be placing a trade every day. It's okay to hold trades for like a few days or overnight, like you said, which usually I don't like doing. But I think, again, with current market conditions, it's a lot different having Trump in power. The markets are very, very different. How are you finding these new Trump markets?
So fun. Honestly, love it. Like, so I don't properly trade fundamentals and I've never really cared about fundamentals. I used to just hold trade through like all news.
Wow.
Didn't care, like NFP, whatever it was. But then I started properly getting into prop firms. I was like, yeah, no chance. I'm not doing this on a prop firm. So I've recently been like learning fundamentals, like for the past 6 months, I'd say. And honestly, since Trump's come in power, I've learned more about fundamentals and like, I don't know, I kind of like it because it's like one big spider web. Like if Trump says this, it affects this, and then that affects this, and this does this. And it's kind of fun trying to like learn the different links and connections between everything. I don't know, it's kind of fun to keep up with. I don't really trade it, but I will use it like, let's say if I'm in a trade and I have my TP, but I know like fundamentally the bias is long or whatever, or I know there's a speech coming out. So I think it was a few weeks ago we had US and UK making a deal, and Trump said, or someone said over the weekend that they're making a deal, or they've had a deal, and everyone knew it was going to be the UK, and everyone knew it was going to be good. So at open, you short gold because we're going to see risk on. Everyone's optimistic, so stocks go up, gold goes down. So you just know gold's going to drop. So you open short. And literally, the UK US deal came out, gold absolutely dumped. It's just, I don't know, it's just finding the links, and once you understand those links, it's kind of easy to understand.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you mentioned gold, is that what you trade?
Yeah, so I trade Forex pairs, I trade no, don't trade GU anymore, never mind, I just got rid of it. I trade Euro NZD, Pound NZD, UJ, GJ, and also GN, EN, and then gold as well. I used to trade like 30, like every single Forex pair. So I used to be even more conservative than I am now. I used to trade like big swing daily levels. So I'd like analyze 30 pairs, but even with that, I'd only have one trade a week type thing. Whereas now I've kind of reduced it to way less pairs. So I can actually understand the price action for each pair. And I've gone a little bit more degenerate with the levels I'm looking at, but it still works just as nice. But gold recently, on the lower time frames, it's been working really nice.
See, I've got PTSD from gold. We spoke about this off camera, didn't we? I always analyse gold, so I always do like a weekly breakdown for my community.
Yep.
Always analyse it, and 9 times out of 10, higher time frames, I'm bang on. But getting those entries on like the hourly, it's like I just can't do it.
Are you holding trades like what's your risk reward type thing?
So I tend to like a big risk to reward. So if I'm risking 1%, I want like a 1 to 5. Like I want a big move. But I don't know what it is about gold. It's too spiky, I think.
That's why I'm in and out within like 15 minutes type thing.
Okay,
like
that makes
pretty
sense.
quick, because obviously gold with the current news, Trump, like it's constant risk. The market environment is changing like every few hours, and gold just goes wham, 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 takes you out, bam, every single direction.
Yeah.
So I'm in, out, done within like, I'd say half an hour max.
Oh,
That's it. So
that's quite good.
obviously, if you're trying to trade gold a bit, longer term or catch like big risk reward, I think you're going to get stopped quite a few times, especially in the current market conditions.
Yeah, it's not fun. So you said you've taken GU off your watch list.
Yes.
So I predominantly trade GU. I say this though, and current price action, I'm like, I am broadening my horizon. Like I said, I'm currently in an oil trade, which I haven't traded oil since COVID. Like since oil crashed during COVID, I have not touched it. But I saw a great setup. I was like, I'm going to take it. I've got a lot of conviction in this. So I've been sat in that since yesterday. But I'm realising GU is just not great at the moment.
Why
have you taken it off yours?
Just haven't taken a single trade this year at all for like, 5 months, something like that. So no trades, it's boring. Like I have a bunch of levels, but every single one's just missed, or news has come out and it's just smashed the level. So just no opportunities at all. And so just no point wasting time looking at it. I'd rather just switch it out for a better pair or just remove it overall.
That makes so much sense. I think I get very stuck in, so I've recently realised that I have a lot of autistic traits going on, like a psychology thing. So I get very like stuck on what I know. So because I've been trading GU for so long, I'm like, I want to hold on to it. I don't want to let it go. But now because my win rate is declining, I'm like, right, okay, taking it back to like just being a little bit smarter. I need to kind of let go of it. And I'm realising now that GU's price action, now I've took a step back and I'm looking at it, I'm like, why was I even trying to trade that? We've literally been bullish since January. With any pullback that we have, it's not a fib. It's not hitting any level of support and resistance. And I'm like, what on earth is going on with this?
Yeah, that's the exact reason I got rid of it.
It's awful. What's your favourite pair at the moment?
Oh, gold, 100%.
Really?
I was trading obviously every pair daily. And then I was trading gold 4 hour. Then I've gone down to the hourly. And I don't want to go any lower because that's pretty crazy. It's getting lower and lower. But I've completely removed 4 hour and daily. I'm just like exclusive on the 1 hour. But 1 hour gold, I don't know. It's just because compared to the daily, I'm only looking for like 30 to 50 pips roughly on a daily. But some of those pairs, especially like GU or like some of the Euro pairs, some of those would take like 6 hours to take profit. Whereas gold, I enter the position and I'm out within 15 minutes. I know if it's going to work or stop loss. Emotions aren't all over the place. Like it's in, done, dusted. My analysis works or it doesn't. I don't want to be holding a trade for 12 hours on my edge of my seat, like checking my charts every hour. So that's, I think, the main reason I love gold.
That makes a lot of sense. Do you do like a full top-down analysis on a weekend and then kind of base the 1 hour trades off of that? Or is it just purely 1 hour?
Gold, for the daily, yeah, I just do my weekly analysis and then don't have to change it all week pretty much. But gold 1 hour, no. There is no point doing an analysis at the weekend. For like the past 3 weekends, we've gapped by crazy pips because there's so much going on. But yeah, gold 1 hour, like there won't be a setup at like 8 a.m. in the morning. And by 2 p.m, there's 4 new setups just because, as you know, the market environment at the minute, crazy. So gold is doing a silly amount of pips every day.
That's interesting. I might have to start dabbling. Maybe I'll have like an account just for gold.
Yeah, definitely do
and
that.
see how we do.
Don't do it on the same account.
Yeah, I'm not.
And don't blame me.
Yeah, I'm gonna upload Leon. What's going on here? Moving it away a little bit from trading and a little bit more of like what you're actually going to be doing here with Equity Edge, which I think you're quite big in the space as well in terms of content. So obviously you're a trader who does content. When did you start doing content? Like what made you think I'm going to start creating content?
So I started, I think 4 years ago, about like 6 months into my trading journey. Obviously, every kid wants to be a YouTuber and stuff like that. So I always kind of wanted to create content. I just thought it was pretty cool. I think it's more to like having followers or like so cool. Like, oh, I've got 50K followers, I've got 100K. That was the original thought. And I was learning how to trade. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to document my journey, like type thing. I did the same with like my community. Originally, it was just a journal. So I just created that to post some trades and just keep me disciplined. Same with the content. It kind of tested me because when someone asks a question on like, oh, how do you trade this or what is this? It then forced me to kind of reinforce my knowledge and then teach others. And I think that's helped massively. And along the way, yeah, it's just shared my journey, and then mainly on TikTok, and then moved over to Instagram as well. Did a little bit of YouTube here and there, but I'm not a massive fan of long form because it's pain to edit. So yeah, it's been a fun journey.
What's it been like? Like, what's like the reception been from the audience? Obviously, you've got quite a big TikTok, don't you?
75k, getting close.
I like that. I like that. What's it been like? Do you get any hate? Like, is it just all positive?
To be fair, I mean, don't want to promote too much, but my community is completely free. So, I mean, there's not much like rubbish they can really talk, because I don't sell a mentorship, I don't sell a course. I have like a little free course. I mean, this is the trading industry. They find anything. That is also true. That is also true. But actually, here's a good story. ICT, when he got big in COVID. The COVID is when he like mainly popped off. I trade support and resistance. ICT traders hate support and resistance.
It's liquidity.
So for like a solid 6 months, I was just getting, you're my liquidity, like my stop loss is your take profit, all that stuff. I was getting absolutely bashed every single video, but it's good because I fed into it and then annoyed those even more. So then they commented, and it kind of, I guess it did actually blow up a little bit from that, to be fair. But most of those are gone now, and I'm still here. So
I mean, that speaks volumes. You know what? I think we all have, like, all of us who've done content or have like a platform on social media when it comes to trading. I think we've all had like, either we're like ICT fans, cult members, or we're like the opposite, where we get the cult coming for us. But I think either way, it's a great way to build a following, because someone always has something to say about ICT, whether it's negative or positive. ICT is like the buzzword to kind of like go off of, because mine was very similar. So I came onto Twitter, and I think I always say it was because I was talking shit about ICT, and I think it was probably something similar to what you went through. So I was getting a lot of people coming into my comments and like commenting on my charts and stuff, saying things about ICT, and I didn't really know who he was. And then obviously I went back at them, because I'm just that type of person. Like, if you're going to talk shit, I'm going to talk shit too. And quickly I just built a following off of that, and I'm like, all of these people are coming for me, but you're kind of helping me. So now, like, I'm going to feed into it. And again, no one really comes anymore.
I mean, thank God, to be honest. I mean, I never really like talk rubbish. I don't really know much about ICT. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but the following and that weird little cult-like audience that was built, I don't know if he did it or that just was naturally created, but Jesus, yeah, that was a fun summer for sure. But now, yeah, I think most of them are gone, to be honest, so thank God.
Yeah, no, it is good, but I think it's good for people who are watching to understand, like, you've come into trading, you're maybe starting to get payouts now, and you're thinking about doing content, because I think that is kind of like the natural route for traders to go down, especially when you're full-time, because we have a lot of time on our hands. So it just naturally leads to creating content. But for anyone who is like watching at home, I think what would be the best advice to give them in terms of like facing the negativity and facing the controversy and just that kind of element of creating content? Because I think regardless of what you do, as nice of a person as you are, you're gonna get it somehow from somewhere. How would you advise people to deal with things like that?
I think just do you, as long as you're authentic and you're not like, doing people over or anything like that. I think the one thing I hate is when people attack people for having a mentorship or a course. I don't have one myself, but I think it's absolutely stupid. Like, you learn this skill for let's say you, for example, you've been learning for 10 years, you put thousands of hours into something, so then you want to teach others. Yes, you make money from trading, but the argument is always like, well, if you make money from trading, why do you need a course? You're telling me if you're a trader and I offered you, right, okay, you can make an extra 10k a month from just teaching people and being successful and helping them, I don't know, retire their parents and buy cars and do this. You take it instantly, of course. You're making extra money. And again, like we said before, going full-time trading and with, relying on trading, that's what I did. And went well for a few months, but then just, especially when you have a family or kids or a home, then of course it's a stable income. You're teaching people the skills that you spent thousands of hours on. So why on earth wouldn't you charge for that? Like, why would you give your time out for free, like spending hundreds of hours teaching people when, for example, university, they pay 50k or 40k. to go to university, I wanted to do business investment and financial trading. That was what I wanted to do at uni. I think it was something like 40k for like 4 years, and I got taught by an accountant. He wasn't even a trader. He invested, I think he had like a 30k portfolio, but he was an accountant. So you're willing to spend 40,000 from someone who's never actually taken a day trade, or you're not willing to, you're willing to, I don't know, attack someone who's charging 250 a month, who've spent years and years in this industry learning and perfecting their skills. I don't understand that argument. It's a bit of a weird one. So just do you, be authentic. As long as you're not doing any crazy stuff, scamming or weird affiliate links with dodgy prop firms or like dodgy brokers. I get a ton of those in DMs saying, we'll fly you out to here, we'll give you a really good affiliate deal, every single day. So as long as you're not doing anything like that and just being yourself, go for it and just expect the hate, because trading community is toxic as hell.
It really is. I think that is really good advice though, to be honest. I think, like you say, trading industry is so toxic, and it is full of scammers, which is really sad, because people like us who are like genuine about the experience, we get it as well, because people just expect everyone to be the same. But of course it is full of marketers, professional marketers who like rent a Lambo, rent a mansion for a weekend, and hey, I just made 100k from trading gold today or US 30 today, which I think those are the main ones about people like.
If they knew how to teach, then fair play, do all the marketing you want, but most of those guys are just promoting some little Telegram chat where they sell signals. You have to deposit £500 into some weird broker, and then they get paid and da-da-da-da. But rent Lambo, rent a Bugatti, whatever it is, rent a nice house, market it, but
actually trade.
Yeah, actually trade and provide good education and actually teach people. Sure, go for it. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
But most of them obviously are dodgy Telegram, weird chats. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting industry, I think.
It is indeed.
But yeah, no, I think that is great advice. I think regardless of whatever you're doing within the trading space, you're going to get hate in some kind of way. It's just very toxic. But yeah, I think you just have to have really thick skin in this industry. And I think, to be honest, it does go kind of hand in hand with trading, because obviously with trading, we're not constantly taking losses, but you have to be okay with taking a loss, which obviously is a hit to the ego. And I think obviously getting the hate online, that's also sometimes a hit to the ego. So it kind of does go hand in hand. I think if you can tolerate trading, then you can definitely tolerate a little bit of hate.
Yeah.
Right, so we're quickly going to do some quickfire questions. So, first ever trade, win or loss?
Loss.
London or New York session?
London.
Phone or laptop trading?
Laptop.
Most toxic trait in the trading industry?
People hopping into Discords and groups like posting loads of profits, but then when you ask for like an equity curve or like backtesting stats, they have nothing to show.
Interesting. Most overrated trading advice?
Reducing risk when you're in drawdown.
Which trader would you want to trade your account for a day?
Alex G. Hopefully you can flip it into a mil.
One trading rule you break but still profit from?
I'm a very conservative trader.
Disciplined, I like it. Most money lost in a single trade?
6k.
Best trading book?
Trading in the Zone. That's the only one I've ever listened to. I didn't even read it.
Same. One indicator you think is completely useless?
RSI. I think that's a load of rubbish. It says it's oversold, but then it carries on doing its thing.
Same. I hate that. Cool. Well, thank you for joining us today. Obviously now the audience know who you are, and obviously we're going to be creating a lot of content together, so I'm looking forward to it.
So am I. Hopefully you see my face quite a bit. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it should be fun.
Love that. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and make sure you like, comment, subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos.